The high was something like myself. The whole night I only can remember myself hugging the toilet bowl vomiting. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Enoch. I'm 29 this year.
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm 48 this year.
How was your growing up years like?
Mischievous. My parents divorced
Oh.
when I was 15 years old. I was in Ang Mo Kio VI,
Okay.
so I started there. Joined secret society and these kind of things.
For myself also, I started about 15. 14 years old, I dropped out of school. I was diagnosed ADHD. Since the age of 10, in school was very difficult. I felt very special. Special not in a good way, but somebody who's not normal. So after exam, since primary school, all my friends go and play football, go to downstairs and have fun. But I would sit in the exam hall another 45 minutes to 1 hour. Felt very uncommon. Slowly became more and more mischievous and rebellious. Like yourself.
Same like me.
Yeah.
How do you start being in a gang, and how did you feel part of it?
I think it's the same as when you have in school, you have a group of friends, they're all the same. So I think when I got in gang, it's like all the people who drop out of school early all mixed together. No? Then we feel like all of us are all the same. We compare each other, it's not compare who is better at being good, but who is better at being bad. So that time is very fun. I felt a sense of belonging at that time.
For me, a group of friends, then we play together, we fight together, and we run away from school together. My first recruit was about 16 years old.
How many people you recruit?
Maybe 100 plus to 200. Did drugs come into the picture at any time when you are in a gang?
That time have problem with money, didn't have good relationship with my parents. I also ran away from home. So that was the first time I was introduced to things like drugs. So when we finish our work, have nothing better to do, we just have 5-6 of us together. Slowly I was introduced a lot of other drugs like ecstasy, then slowly to ketamine and all these kind of things. So a lot of young people, they look at it like it's a fun thing. So nobody really cares, especially if it's those kind of things like pill and all these kind of things. A lot of us, we take it very lightly. I thought there's no harm in drugs, especially cannabis, if used recreationally. What do you think?
Actually, I find that every drug is also harmful. Frankly speaking, for myself, I don't really like drugs. The more you play, the more you harm yourself.
Things like cannabis, actually today my generation, a lot of people think it's just a herb. However, I think if it's people using on themselves, there will always be side effects. Every time you have a high, there will always be a low. So it's what goes up must come down. So I think the same way also for any drugs, even though a lot of people may think that things like cannabis is not harmful.
What about story about you and your friends trying?
I remember the first time I took cannabis, marijuana. The whole night I only can remember myself hugging the toilet bowl vomiting. The high was something like I felt paralyzed myself. After that first few times, I think altogether about 3 times, I didn't touch cannabis ever again.
I'm curious about the drugs and what to try it. Should I?
I know a lot of these people who actually come from good professional career, but they started cannabis first. After starting cannabis is always the first stepping stone to go on to other things. So they move on to more heavy things, more serious things. And in the end, they got 5, 6, 8 years in DRC. Once you start, the mind will always have that desire for that high again. And when you start to do it repeatedly, you start to go heavier and heavier. Then eventually, I think that's how a lot of people go into very serious, long-term life of addiction.
For my experience till now, it's harmful for the body. I have a family right now, and I also have the only son. So I also don't want my son to try that. So I don't encourage any more new generation to take all this type of weed or this type of things or take drugs. Last time it's only because of the kick of the high, of the happiness. Then the next day the problem also come again. So no point. Once you touch, that means you are gone.
What was your turning point?
My turning point is when my age of 38 is not young anymore. You have to build your own career, thinking for your family members. That is why I just stopped and then went to overseas and work.
So for myself was actually, first of all was of course, I was touched by my family. Even all the trouble that went through, but they stayed by me. And every time, even after I came out, they are still very supportive. The thing that really helped me to keep on the right path is when I realized I can actually make money legally through my hawker stall. Came to that point, I realized that I don't need that sense of belonging, because I think I found my true belonging. Even though we're young, I think we have to also always take in consideration the side effects of everything that we actually consume. Second thing is the point about family. For a lot of us, we become ignorant to what is the effect it actually has on people around us, like our friends, our family. We have to think about these factors, which is anything that has harm to our own body, our own mental well-being. at the same time also the emotional well-being. Because every high, there will always be a low. And sometimes the low is lower than anything else you can, go. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Nice to meet you too.
ကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ဗီဒီယိုလေးတွေကြိုက်နေတတ်တယ်ဆိုရင်ကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးတော့ like and subscribe လေးနှိပ်ထားပေးပါနောက်ထပ်အသစ်ထပ်တင်တဲ့ဗီဒီယိုလေးတွေတင်တဲ့အချိန်မှာသိနေရအောင်လဲဘေးကခေါင်းလောင်းလေးကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးနှိပ်ပေးတာပါအားလုံးကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်